I'm the same way. I mean, I love everything I do. I love my photography. I love the music. I love it all. You know, it kind of goes in phases. Honestly, there'll be something that I'll be like leaning more towards. Like right now, my head's very in the music. It's very in guitar, and which is good because I'm like, while my head is here, I'm going to practice this as much as possible. Because then when my head shifts to lemming branding or whatever the heck I'm going to do next, I don't think I can do that, but I don't know, whatever it is next, then I'll have that. I'll have spent the time on that, and then I'll still can work with that and do that. But I don't know. I mean, it's like I've done so many different projects, so many different types. I can't say, well, this is better. Doing this art book was better than working on Ghost in the Shell, which is better than doing my own manga, which was, I don't know. I mean, ultimately, I guess. If I look at it, the most important thing I've ever done was the album that we did, Voices for Peace, because ultimately that money it goes to it goes to 2 charities that help people stay alive, Doctors Without Borders. So when we send them money, people live who would not have lived, and that's very important to me. So that's the one I can say, you know what, that actually makes a difference, to more people. So I mean, and the entertainment is a wonderful thing, of course, but so I'm very proud of that. But I still like doing my photography, still like doing henna, I still like animation. It's just animation is kind of a big process and very expensive process to get involved in. So seeing what I can do on my little scale.
You want to pick something? Question?
Yes.
Which one of your trades, I guess, consumes most of your time?
Right now, music, because we're producing our next album. And then the week after next, I'm gonna be recording some. We recorded some music earlier this year, and so that's kind of taking up. I mean, ultimately today it's down at my table because I'm spending all the weekend at my table doing henna and selling albums and doing that. And then when the semester starts again, school will be a very big part. So I try to shift it. I try to mix it up a little bit.
I would say voice acting takes up the most regular amount of time. I wouldn't have ever expected that. It just kind of happened. As is, I think, probably the case with people like Chris Patton and Monica, who I know really well, started at the same time at ADV. We all started together. And I can assure you, none of us ever imagined that it would become what it has become. It was just something fun to do, and it just kept getting broader and broader and bigger and more opportunities. So that's probably the main thing that I do. But I still make time. I still like to do music as much as I can. When I used to do a lot more music, I used to go to ad agencies and meet with creative directors and pass out demos and go to different production companies and did that whole marketing thing. I don't have time to do that now. So consequently, the music writing for ad agencies for me has slowed down. Because I'm not in their face every week going, hey, doing anything? Hey, got anything I can work on? So unfortunately, that I don't do as much of that as I used to. But voice acting probably first, and then music, video, film after that, and graphic design.
What happens if you make plans to do something, but then something comes up and it forces you to do something else? For example, I do have to go, and because I had scheduled to come to A-Kon for a year, and my dad a week ago told me, we're going to a picnic on June 1st at 4 p.m. And I said, no. So what would you do?
I'd say, can I bring all my cosplay friends? Can I take the 6 weirdest dressed people and say, can we bring these guys? And they'll be like, maybe you can stay here for the day.
Can we have the picnic at the Adams Park Hotel?
Let's have the tea party.
No, you know what I would say? Here's what I would say. This is a long-term answer, okay? Obey your parents. Honor your dad. Because you know what? Next year he'll remember that. He knows how badly you want to be here. And you let him know, I really wanted, I was looking so forward to this, but I'm going to do what you tell me to do. And you will be amazed what kind of mileage you'll get out of that, because you honored his authority. So that would be my encouragement. Good advice. So thanks for coming. Have fun at the picnic.
You should have fought the power.
Tell you're dead.
Tell your dad to sit on.
Yeah. Right. Dad, pick me up.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's exactly.
Where's Vince McGaga?
Where's this Vince guy?
He's downstairs doing henna.
He looks like a woman.
Very talented and pretty blonde hair. Can't miss him. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Here's a trivia question. Who hasn't eaten all day? Crap! That was the wrong question, Dad. All right, I'll pass this around. We'll all get a bite. Everyone gets 1 grain of rice.
Yes, your question.
Okay. Talk about
Answer it before we go off on another tangent.
With dogs. Not necessarily self-sacrificing, but just one of the biggest sacrifices.
Sacrificing.
Well, the biggest sacrifice, and this is terrible, it really is. The 2 biggest sacrifices that I made for my work were my health, because I lost a kidney to anime, because I kept working so hard. I worked so hard, and I kept my head in it, and I worked until I finally literally collapsed, and they had to take me to the hospital, and I lost my right kidney because of it. That was the sacrifice, and then because I was too focused into my work, I sacrificed my marriage, and that was bad. Those 2 are my worst. And since that time, I have learned so much about, number 1, how to take care of my body, and number 2, how to be respectful to other people, because that was very, very, very disrespectful, and I can never make that up, ever. But at the same time, I can live in a way now that I can be more respectful to myself and everyone else because of it.
That's good. That's good. When I started, come on in, stay a while. When I started voice acting, and even up until about a year ago, I also did a lot of music work at my church. On Sundays, I would play the piano and I would lead music at church, and it was something that was very, very important to me. But then I started getting invited to more conventions, and I really felt like this was important, that I could in some small way encourage those of you who come to conventions. Whether it be in little panels like this about your future or your dreams or your goals, or whether it just be to meet you and give you a hug and tell you how much I appreciate your support. I came to decide that these events were important. More than that, not meaning to act spiritual again, but I came to decide that they were gifts from God. The opportunity to speak words of encouragement into people's lives was very valuable to me. And I saw it as something, an opportunity that I was being given. Well, they happen over a weekend, and church happens on Sunday. So about a year ago, I realized that I could not do both. So for the last year, I've not been serving in music on Sundays at my church. I suppose that's a sacrifice. However, it was a sacrifice in favor of something that I feel very strongly about, something that I deeply desire to have a positive impact. So it's a sacrifice, but in favor of another opportunity. So there's a give and take, you know.